to Let's Learn English with Jawad. So I'm going to recap from what I talked about yesterday. I'll restart from present continuous tense structure. In today's session, I'm going to touch base on some specifics that we need to know about different use of present continuous tense. So the structure is here. It clearly says that the present continuous is formed by using M-S-R. These are helping auxiliary helping verbs. Some people call it to be verbs. We use these to show existence. Also, we use we use them in our present continuous sentences to talk about the ing form of our verb. So these are used, this is the formula, M as R plus present participle. Formula is subject, mean the person who does the action, or the verb, or the work, the verb. As plus to be, which is or we know when we can use as, or wherefore we use as, or wherefore we use or wherefore we use are, plus verb, and then ing, which is suffix we put at the very end of our verb to make it a present continuous tense, to describe or to point out an action or activity which is happening right now. So this is already I explained to you. Questions, when we do want to make questions, we bring these to be verbs at the very beginning of the sentences, and at the very end of the sentences we put question marks. For example, we are watching the game. This is a statement. Why? Because we have a statement, full stop or period here at the very end of the sentence. But in order to make this a question, we bring this part of the sentence before our subject, and then instead of a period we put a question mark. For example, here, are we watching the game? We're not watching the game. So this is a negative form of our sentence. So continuous tense. So the first use is that we use with normal verbs to express that something is happening now. So now here it says use number one is now. Now mean right now, currently, at the moment. So we use it to describe something which is happening right now. I've got a few examples here, roughly 10 examples. We're going to go through given examples, and you guys will pick up the critical point in this regard, which is you are learning English now. So it means that you are. Why? Because with you we use are. You are not swimming now. This is a negative one. Are you sleeping? This is a question mark. I am sitting. I'm sitting. So this is an action or activity which is happening right now. I am or I'm not standing. Is he sitting or standing? They are reading their books. They are not watching television. Number 9, what are you doing? Number 10, why aren't you doing your homework? So the first use we discussed this, and I give you guys 10 examples, which are right here, all of them. So what we do now, we're going to move to the second use, which is longer action in progress now. So as you see, present continuous talks about an action or activity which is happening right now. So this is past, this is present, and this is future. So in English, now can mean different things. So here we use, in this part, in the first use, we use now to talk about an action which is happening right now. But it can have a different meaning as well. So that we're going to talk about can mean different things. This second, this minute, today, this month, this year, this century, and so on. Sometimes we use the present continuous to say that we are in the process of doing something. Okay, so let's say use number 2 is describing something which is happening for longer action or time, or an action which is in progress. However, we might not be doing that at the exact second. Like the first use was for now, and then for longer action we also use present continuous, but it doesn't essentially mean that as we speak we're doing that action. So the examples are given here. I am studying to become a teacher. I am studying to become a teacher. So in order to become a teacher, you need to go to finish your high school, and then you're going to do a 4-year bachelor's degree, and then with some certificate in teachers training program, and then you become a teacher. So it says, I'm studying to become a teacher. Let's say right now we're sitting in a restaurant, we're having our lunch, but I'm saying that you asking me, what are you doing? What are you studying? Or what do you want to become? I just say I'm studying to become a teacher, even though right now I'm eating my food, but I say I'm studying to become a teacher. So it means the action is happening in a longer action period. I am not studying to become an engineer. I'm reading the book Endless Knowledge. So this is the name of a book. I'm not reading any books right now. So are you working on any special assignments? Are you teaching at the orphanage? Orphanage is a place for people, for kids who have no parents. So let's talk about use number 3. The first one was use. The first use was about now. The second was for longer action. The third one is near future. So as you see, the diagram shows that this is past, present, and future. So this is happening in from now on to a specific time, or between now and a specific time in the future. Okay, so sometimes speakers use the present continuous to indicate that something will or will not happen shortly. So the examples are here. I'm going to give one example. You guys can read the rest. I am meeting Sam after lunch. So it means right now it's, let's say, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to meet Sam for lunch, which could be 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So this is an action that will happen shortly after now. Okay, so these examples are given here. Let's go talk about use number 4, which is called repetition and irritation, or shocking with always. So this is something that we use to discuss something which is shocking for someone. The present continues with words such as always or constantly expresses the idea that something irritating or shocking often happens. Notice that the meaning is like a simple present, but with negative emotion. Okay, so but with negative emotion. So remember to put the words always or constantly between being and verb ing. Okay, so I'm going to explain it to you. What it means is, so she is always coming to work late. So this is an action that happens all the time. So this is something which is irritating or shocking for people. What it means is that, let's say we can say she is always driving fast. So this is something that's not like you're not comfortable with this situation, so you don't like it. This is not an ideal situation. So this is irritating. He is constantly talking. I wish he would be quiet. This is like, okay, so let's say you're sitting in a class with your classmates, and the teacher is teaching you a very important lesson, and one of your classmates is just annoying, meaning that he or she is talking constantly and he or she doesn't stop. So it's called shocking, irritating. So the third one says, I don't like them because they're always complaining. So always mean this is something that happens all the time. So this is what we need to know. Let's go here. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me just see. Okay, so let's talk about this. Present continuous tips. So let's talk about tips. These tips are very important. Why these are very important? Because we need to know these side notes. Note, I told you guys about the structure of the present continuous. We use subject plus to be verb, which is is, am, are, plus verb plus ing form of the verb. So this is the present continuous. tense, or this is the formula for present continuous. So here we have some exceptions. Not all verbs could be used in present continuous ing form structure. Okay, so here it says, note, note, non-continuous verbs or mixed verbs. It is important to remember that non-continuous verbs cannot be used in any continuous tenses. What is that? It means non-continuous. It means words that we cannot put ing, meaning that we cannot use them in present continuous tense form. Okay, we will go ahead and you guys will find out what I mean. So this exception is going to apply. Not all words are possible to be used in present continuous tense. So we have to use them as present, simple present, but instead of present continuous tense, we will use them in present tense, meaning we're talking about something which is happening. So it means that basically the verb doesn't have ing form possibility. So here it says, also certain non-continuous meanings for mixed verbs cannot be used in continuous tenses. Instead of using present continuous with these verbs, you or we must use the simple present. I just told you guys. Non-continuous non-continuous verbs, verbs that cannot be used in continuous forms are usually verbs that you cannot see somebody doing. Okay, so I'll give you the example and that will clarify itself by itself. These verbs are rarely used in continuous forms. You may come across some people who are using these verbs, but those are exceptions. What it means is rarely. Rarely mean it's something that happens very, very rarely, not all the time. Okay, it's very less and less. So there are abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, it's the nouns that abstract. Okay, they are abstract. They are forms. They are abstract verbs. Okay, sorry, it's not nouns. Abstract nouns are happiness and uniqueness, and those verbs that we put NESS at the very end. So those are abstractive noun. Please forget that. I'm talking about abstract verbs. Be, want, cost. These are verbs we cannot use them with ing form. So example here says she's loving this movie. This is not the correct one. We cannot say she's loving this movie. You may come across some people say I'm loving it. That's a different structure of a sentence. That's the correct form. But here we say she loves this movie. So this is the correct form of our present continuous. So meaning that these examples, let me just okay, so these examples are examples that we cannot use in present continuous. Okay, so adverb placement. The examples below show the placement of grammar. Of grammar, adverbs such as only, never, always. Okay, so let's say I'll delete this. Just present continuous tense verbs rules. To be able to use the present continuous, you or we need to remember the spelling rules for the ing form. So there is a rule when we are using verbs which we can use in ing form. We have some rules for them. So the first rule says for verbs ending in E, we drop the E and add ing. So the first rule is it doesn't matter if the subject is he, she, they, I, we. When we use any verb that's ended with E, what we can do is instead of when we put ing, we remove this. Example, I drive. Example, drive, driving, move, moving. Okay, move to moving. Okay, and then we have and then we have educate, educating. So for most verbs, we simply add ing to the end of the verb. Like most verbs will easily take an ing form, but if they're ended in e, then before putting ing, you have to remove the e and put ing. There is also another exception that verbs ending in y simply add ing. An example, study, studying. So if it's ended in y, then we just put ing. Worry, worrying, annoy, annoying. Verbs ending in with one vowel and one consonant double the consonant. So there's another rule. If our verbs end with one vowel and one consonant, we double the last consonant. For example, sit. This is a one syllable verb, sit, S-I-T. T is consonant, I is vowel. Before putting ing, we have to double the T, because why? I will explain that below too. So netting, run, running. You see run, before we putting ing, we double the N and then we put ing. Now, two syllable verbs, if the first syllable is stressed, just add ing. Okay, so let's say if we have two syllable verbs, and if this first syllable is stressed when we pronounce, we have to just put an ing. Okay, and if our verbs end in consonant plus stressed vowel plus consonant, double the last consonant letter. For example, stop. Stop. So the first syllable is not loud, but the second, stop, is loud. So before, and it's ended in consonant, before ed or before. Okay, so let me just give you another example. Stopping. Okay, so before putting ing, we have to double the last consonant. Stopped. Run, running. You see, running, running. We started as a slow syllable pronunciation, but as we go to the second syllable, we stress it. We push it down. Begin, beginning. Okay. And then exception, this exception does not apply when the last syllable of the base verb is not stressed. If the base verb ends in example, change the I. Okay, if it's in that an IE, then before putting ing, we change IE to Y. For example, die. If you want to make it present continuous, if you want to add ing to it, so that IE becomes Y, and then we put ing. Lie, lying. So that was it for today. I hope you guys learned something. You can practice yourself, but this is the verbs. You can use some of the verbs in present continuous, and some of them are not possible to be used. So what you guys need to do, go through the notes and try to find out some words and some newspapers, some books that you have around you, and then apply the same formula. I did explain everything in detail, and I'm going to stop today's class, and hopefully we can touch base on the rest soon. So thank you again. If you guys learned something, or you like the video, please like my video, subscribe to my channel so we can reach to more people. When you guys like and share and subscribe, then YouTube is going to suggest this to other people, and this is the international language. I know down the road maybe another language will replace, maybe in 10, 15 years or 20 years, who knows. But for now, all people, we need to learn this language, and we need to reach to people. And there's a lot of places and a lot of channels who are offering you the shortcuts, and I don't believe in shortcuts. You can't learn English. You have to know the basics, okay? Even if you know the basics in your language, you have to know the basics and the language, in the English language, before you can become fluent. You have to know the foundation of the language, and then use them and use the elements of that foundation into your spoken English, and then focus on the fluency. Fluency is not something you have to achieve. You have to achieve the accurate learning of the English language. And if you have any questions, just drop our comment and we will go from there. Take care, guys. And remember, you can do it. Sharing is caring, and If you share knowledge, you're empowering people. Take care. Bye.